And hello, everyone. Welcome to our live trading workshop. It is May 7th, 2026, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. My name is Daniel, and I'm greeting you today once again from our beautiful office here in Montreal. And, it's always a special event for me to do live trading. This is, by heart, we're all traders, and trading is what we do. And having live trading workshops to me, these are always the most fun ones to do because first of all, we're putting our money where our mouth is. Basically, we're using our own indicators that we use day in and day out today in front of an audience to live trade the market. And in the end, it's also more fun to just trade instead of preparing an educational presentation. So, I like both, but live trading is really where the rubber hits the road. Regardless, before we get into all of this, where are you guys calling in from? So I mentioned already, I am calling in from Montreal in Canada. Who else do we have in the room today? And I can see we do have a fully packed room. Testament that, live trading is probably also for you guys the most exciting part of your trading routine. So who do we have? Let's see. Please put your location into the Q&A box. And Kevin says, hey, what's shaking? Greetings from North Carolina, NC. Okay, yeah, I was just thinking, hey, what is NC? But it's North Carolina. Hey, Kevin, nice to have you on board. We have somebody from Boisbriand from Quebec, right next to Montreal. Awesome. Well, welcome. That's doesn't happen very often. We do have a couple of customers or clients in and around Montreal, but that doesn't happen too often. Daryl's there from San Francisco. Hey, Daryl, good morning to you. 9 a.m. in the morning. Wow, awesome. Nice to have you. Ed is there from Philadelphia. Hey, Ed, how's it going? We have Sibyl from Berlin, from Berlin. Hi, Sibyl, how are you? Uh, Morning, morning, as you would say. I grew up not far from Berlin in Rostock, a bit north, yeah, near the coast of the Baltic Sea. Bob is there also from Alexandria, Virginia. Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your location. I do see many other familiar faces as well in the room who are probably still just, chilling and enjoying their coffee. It is early morning. Regardless, let's get started with this workshop. So, first off, this session is being recorded. So, should you have to drop off, no problem. You can watch the recording shortly afterwards on our YouTube channel. Now, you may wonder, hey, where is this YouTube channel? Well, it's actually not so easy to find, especially if you go straight to YouTube. But there are some shortcuts. What you could do is you can go to our homepage, tradingindicators.com. I'll just go to the regular homepage, and on the top right corner, you will see this YouTube icon here. You click on it, and it will redirect you to our YouTube channel. The other way, and Nicholas, please put this link into the chat. You can simply go to tradingindicators.com/YouTube to directly jump to our YouTube channel. And this is exactly where we will be posting the recording of this session. Just quickly, there we go. Thanks, Nicholas, for this. Okay, next, I do need to remind you that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and setups and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, a quick introduction in case you are joining us today for the very first time at one of our presentations. We are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel, as mentioned before. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. And together with Homer here in the middle, we have created trading indicators about 10 years ago. And as our name suggests, we specialize on creating innovative trading indicators. That's really our bread and butter. This is what we've been doing for more than 10 years. We have clients all over the world. And best of all, we use our own indicators for our own trading every single day, for day trading as well as for swing trading. And we also have Nicholas in the room today. He will be manning the Q&A and chat. And Nicholas has joined our team about 5 years ago, and he's become our lead developer ever since. With this, guys, one more thing to mention. If you have any questions or requests or you need clarification, please don't be shy. Put your questions into the Q&A section of your Zoom window, and Nicholas will bring these to my attention, and I'd be happy to, answer all the questions that you may have. The more the merrier. The more interaction we have, the better it will be. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to be trading today my favorite day trading setup. And I put date or day here in parentheses because this setup works for both day trading. That's what we're going to be doing today, but it also works for longer term trading, for swing trading, or really longer term investments. It doesn't really matter. But today's focus, of course, is on day trading. We want to day trade the futures market. And especially when it comes to day trading, I should mention that this setup with the indicators I will be showing you in just a second, this has turned my day trading completely around. Now, why do I say this? Because back in the day, I thought, about 10 years ago, I thought, hey, trading should look something like this. You know, an insane amount of screens here, many different charts, like, I don't know, 50 different screens, and then you try to make sense of the market. This is my friend Steven here, and I watched this stuff, and actually he's a client of us too. We've programmed some of his indicators that he is using for his day trading approach. If you want to check out this on YouTube, it's called Day Trading Insanity, where he's showcasing how he trades the market. And back then, I thought, hey, this is exactly what I need as well. So I tried to recreate or trying to recreate his setup with all these different screens. But, you know, to be honest, I gave up along the way. This is extremely complex and difficult. It's extremely expensive. And to me, I like to travel a lot. This is absolutely not portable. You can just put all these screens into a suitcase and travel from one place to the other. Impossible. So this did not work for me. But luckily, through our research and our work at Trading Indicators, we now have developed a set of indicators which allows us to transform this approach into something like this. Now I day trade only from one screen and one chart and 2 or 3 indicators on my chart. This is what works for me now. And as you can see, this is much more portable. It's travel friendly. And I'm telling you what, it's much less complicated and it's simple. And oftentimes to simplify things means to improve things at the same time. So this is my new setup now. Now, what am I trading? What is my favorite setup? It's actually quite straightforward. Here it is. So my favorite setup is called the power bounce setup. And then it works for both the bullish case and the bearish case. So here's the bullish example. Let's try to develop this together because later on, about 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to switch over to the charts. We're trying to spot exactly this setup on the charts. So what do we see here? All right, so we can see, for example, that price comes down from the top here down towards this red line here. And this red line here happens to be a support level. This red line is shown to us by our liquidity IQ indicator. So price comes down here. And this is really the first clue for one of our setups. So ingredient number 1, price approaches support from the top. That's important. We're coming from the top down to support. Great. Second ingredient. Can you see these little shaded areas here below the candles, like this one here, this one here, this one here? These are special events. And our liquidity IQ indicator is able to pick up these events. We termed them, because that's a term we made up, we termed them liquidity capture events. So what is this precisely? This happens when a candle comes down to a key support level, like this big red candle here. This one here, it comes down. It cannot fully breach support, so it's holding on to it. And this candle has abnormally high volume. And in our book, in our view, this indicates that, hey, somebody else might be interested in this price level as well. Perhaps sees this as an interesting long opportunity because price came down, maybe a nice opportunity to jump into a long trade here. And in our view, in our experience, this will increase the odds of seeing a bounce of this level. This is where the name comes from, a bounce to the upside of this level rather than a break below the level. So in our view, it increases the odds. So this is ingredient number 2. And ingredient number 3 this is what you see here on the right-hand side, or on the left-hand side, this bull label. We always want to trade with the trend and not against the trend. So what does this setup here suggest? It suggests a bounce to higher price levels, to the upside. We therefore want the trend, the overarching trend, to be bullish as well, allowing us to trade with the trend and not against it. And this is ingredient number 3 for this setup. Okay, so this was the bullish case, and now let's look at the bearish case, and basically it's the exact reverse. So let's see if you can spot this together. So let's have a look at this chart here. What do you see? Well, we see price. You can see it coming up to this green line here. All right, green line means resistance. So price is coming up to resistance. And once again, we are looking for a bounce off this level. And when price comes up to resistance, the bounce would be to the bearish side. So ingredient number 1, price approaches resistance. Ingredient number 2, there is this shaded area again. You see this one here, this little shaded area? This is a liquidity capture event. Once again, a candle that approaches resistance with abnormally high volume. And once again, in our view, this will increase the odds of actually seeing a bounce rather than a break of the level. And here we want to trade the bounce. And ingredient number 3, you know what it is? We want to trade with the trend, not against it. Here we are looking for a move to the short side. So we want the overarching trend to be bearish, right? Confirming the setup, supporting the price move that we are anticipating. This is the bearish power bounce setup. And today we're going to be looking out for the setup. But I should mention these setups are quite rare. And it's one of our ground rules today is that we may need to, because today we want to do live trading, I definitely want to execute a bunch of trades today. We may need to skip one of these 3 ingredients because they are rare. They don't happen every minute. They happen multiple times a day. They're good for day trading, but they may not happen so often in these 2 hours in which we want to do live trading. So we may need to skip one of these ingredients. We're going to use some discretion when this happens. And to top things off, we will add a twist of volume analysis to the whole thing. Not a volume analysis per bar. You can see it here where a candle has abnormally high volume. That's the basic approach to it. No, we want to use a volume profile analysis for the whole thing. For this, we're going to use our indicator Volume IQ, which is designed to determine which price levels, not by candle, which price levels have seen high volume in the past, or perhaps which price levels have seen low volume in the past. We're going to use this information to either confirm our setup or perhaps to filter out some setups. How this works, we're going to see together in just a couple of minutes. So these are our 3 indicators. Our trend indicator, it's called MA Rush, which shows us bearish or bullish. Our liquidity IQ indicator, which shows us these lines on the chart, support or resistance, and also shows us these liquidity capture events, and our volume indicator or volume IQ indicator, which shows us a volume profile indicating to us, hey, which price regions have seen high volume and which price regions perhaps have seen relatively low volume. With this, let's move over to the chart. But one last thing, and then we're definitely going to do it. A couple of ground rules. So what we will be doing today is day trading. I'm going to focus on day trading futures. But keep in mind, the techniques I'm going to be using today, they are universally applicable. They also work for stocks. They work for longer time frames. They work for swing trading. All right. Secondly, today we will be using TradingView as our platform to trade from. Why? Well, because it's simply the greatest common denominator. Even if you don't have a TradingView account, I'm sure you've seen TradingView before many, many times in YouTube videos, in educational videos and documents and so forth. People just know it. This is why we'll be using TradingView as our trading platform today. But if you are a NinjaTrader or Motivwave or some other platform, the techniques will work exactly the same. And second or thirdly, today we will take live trades. We will use our real money account, our Interactive Brokers account. It's not a demo account, it's real money account, and we want to trade. But we are also aware that this workshop is time limited. We have approximately 2 hours to trade today. We definitely want to take some trades. These setups I'll be looking for, they are quite rare. If I feel that, hey, we're running out of time, I may take some trades a bit prematurely when not everything comes together. Just keep this in mind. But I'm going to point this out when this happens. All right. With this, is every trade going to be a winner? Well, I definitely hope so. But of course, there is no guarantee for this. I don't want to lose money today. It's my earned money. I don't want to lose it as much as anybody else doesn't want to lose money. So we're trying our best to put the odds in our favor by doing all the steps. We're going to do volume analysis. We're going to be looking at support and resistance, at liquidity captures, at trend, and so forth. And we're going to also avoid major market events. But even with all these steps taken, even with all these checks made, there is no guarantee that every trade will be a winner. There's no such strategy, but of course, we'll do everything in our power to have a successful trading day today. Okay, with this, let's get started. Let's look at the charts. So I'm going to be switching over now to TradingView. All right, let me just find it here in my setup. And the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to have a quick look at the calendar to see what market events are coming up in the next 2 hours. For this, in TradingView, there's this nice calendar icon here. You can click on it, and it will show you, and see it here, what's coming up today with the impact factor. We can see, for example, now it is 10:16. We'll see at 10:20 there's New York Fed bill purchases coming up. There are some natural gas decisions coming up. Consumer inflation expectation is coming up. But all these events, you can see it here, they only have a relatively minor impact factor of level 1. The only bigger thing that might be coming up later on is a speech at the European Central Bank with an impact factor of 2, but at 1 p.m. we'll be off this workshop already by then. So nothing really big happening. Great. So we're pretty clear from that angle. So next, I want to show you how I set up my charts. And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but I basically, when it comes to day trading, I consider 3 time frames. The first time frame, actually going to go here to the left-hand side, is the 1-minute time frame. Let me just reload this real quick to order this properly. You can see it here as well, 1 minute, M1, and I have saved this as a profile here as a layout in TradingView. So 1 minute is one of my time frames. Okay. The second time frame I'll be using, this middle tab here, is the 5-minute time frame. Let me just put actually the proper time frame on here. It's the 5-minute time frame. Okay. And the third time frame I'll be using, this third tab here, is the 15-minute time frame. Okay, these are the 3 time frames we will be trading from today. 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minutes. Now let's talk about indicators. What are the indicators on my chart? Okay, so each of these 3 charts, 1 minute, 5 minute, and 50 minutes, they have the same indicators on the chart. So what do we have? We have our liquidity IQ indicator. Let me just disable the other ones real quick. It's this indicator here showing us the key levels, resistance and support, these green lines and these bluish lines, along with liquidity capture events, these shaded boxes here. That's the main purpose of this indicator, showing us the key levels and key events directly on my price chart. Just one configuration change I made to the default settings. So it works great with the default settings, but I did one change. And this change is the following. I went to the settings here of this indicator, and I changed my base reference time frame, this one here, from the default is chart, to the 30 minutes time frame, this one here. Meaning, the indicator uses the 30 minutes time frame to calculate its levels instead of the chart time frame, which is the 50-minute time frame. And to us, that typically gives a bit better results, because I always like to get my levels from a slightly higher time frame. Because once we zoom out, go to higher time frames, levels seem to be a bit more stable, a bit more significant. Okay, so this is the change here for liquidity IQ. The next indicator is our MA rush indicator, our trend indicator, which shows to us these labels on the chart, bearish or bullish. And we're going to use these labels as our filters. You don't need to trade that way. You can also trade just simply by looking at these labels here and go long when it says bullish and go short when it says bearish. We have traders in our room who exclusively trade according to this setup. But today, we're going to use this information primarily as a filter for our setups. Just one thing also here for the settings, I changed also here the reference time frame to be the 30-minute time frame. So I went one step up. We're trading off the 50-minute, but the reference time frame is the 30 minutes time frame. And then the third indicator is our volume profile indicator. And here I simply use the default settings. No changes required there. So this indicator is now going to load. Just 1 second. And we can see it here. Actually, there's one design change, but it doesn't change anything of the logic. I like to hide these these numbers here to the right-hand side. How much volume actually was traded at price level? To me, that's not so relevant. I typically hide this to keep my chart a bit clearer. I switch off volume counts, the setting here, but that's just a styling thing, no logic thing. And for example, you can see here that the area, once this loads with the biggest volume on this futures contract here on soybeans futures, is exactly this level here. See this big high volume load? That's the level with the highest traded volume. And now let's put this together, just real quick. Let me put the other indicators on. What do we see here? Well, quite interesting. Price is now trading below this red line here. It broke support, which happens because we're also in a bearish trend. Now it's trading below. But if or should price come up back to this level here, potentially I will place a short trade here. We scale into a short trade here and put my stop right above this level here, above this high volume node. Because when price approaches this high volume node of volume IQ, this here may act as an additional resistance level. So basically give my trade a second chance to bounce off this level at the latest in pursuit of a nice follow through to the short side. This is how we're going to look at the trades today, but we're going to do this together step by step. Okay, so this is the 50-minute time frame. I have the same setup for the 5-minute time frame here. The only difference is that I set my reference time frames for Liquidity IQ and for ME-Rush to be the 50 minutes time frame. So I went one higher. We're trading off the 5-minute, but my reference time frame is the 50-minute. So one step higher. And then lastly, on the 1-minute time frame here, the 1-minute chart, same indicators on it, but once again, I set my reference time frame of Liquidity IQ to be the 5-minute time frame. Here, I didn't do it. Perfect. Done. Excellent. And same for ME-Rush as well. This is my setup. This is what we will be trading off today. Now, you may ask, Daniel, how do we know when an interesting setup comes up? Great question. I have an answer for you. And you may have seen some pop-ups already coming in while I was talking. I have set up alerts in my trading. You can see it here when something of interest happens. For example, here for 6S, which is the Swiss franc futures, we had a resistance liquidity capture at 10:20 about 3 minutes ago. Let's check it out. I'm going to click on this one. Oh, I'm sorry. One important thing I need to remember. And I will get this wrong a couple of times today. But please remind me if I make a mistake. Look what happens here, what it says here to the right-hand side of this alert. This was a resistance liquidity capture for 6S, the Swiss franc futures, on the 15 minutes time frame. So what I want to do is I want to also look at this one on the 50-minute chart, not on the 1-minute chart. So I'm going to switch first over to the 50-minute chart here, and then I will click on this alert. Just keep this in mind, okay? So I click on it. Let's see what we're seeing right here. I can tell you already, this is probably not something I will be trading today, but it's interesting. Look here. Resistance liquidity capture price came up to this resistance level, which is ingredient number 1. Ingredient number 2 is given to. We had this liquidity capture event. Two things are coming together. But what does ingredient number 3 say? It says bullish. We're going against the trend. So not everything comes together. It is tradable. And we probably will need to break my rule where everything needs to come together today. We don't see anything else. But ideally, we want to wait for everything coming together. Now, this kind of setup in an overall bearish trend. That would be the trifactor. But at some point today, we may need to break this rule. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions up until now. I don't think so. No, we're clear
Not
to
yet.
go. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Nick. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? Okay, perfect. So now let's see if we can find something of interest. So what we're gonna do now. In fact, we just got this alert here. Look at this one here. Support liquidity capture on Ethereum, MET, Ethereum futures on the 5-minute time frame. So I'm going to switch to 5 and click on this alert. And let's see what we see. Also here, I'm a bad, well, not a bad feeling. But let's have a quick look. What's happening here? Once this loads, we can see the price approached, yes, our support level here with liquidity capture events, all good, but now once again, The trend is bearish. So it is, and I mentioned this before, it is a bit rare that everything comes together, but it happens. Okay, now let me show you an example, and I will show you in a second how to set up the alerts. Thanks for this question. Let's find one where everything came together. So you can see most of the ones here are just support liquidity captures, but I have some other alerts here too. And and one alert, just bear with me real quick if I can find it. I see that all these alerts are coming in every day, and you can be more selective of this. Here, M1 long power bounce. Now, this alert here actually looks for the trifecta. Trend alignment, price is coming down to support in this case, and we have a liquidity capture. But these are rare. You can see this one happen every once in a blue moon. The last one this happened on the 1 minute time frame was at 8:23. Let's check it out how this one looked like on ZM. These are soybean meal futures. I'm going to switch over here to the 1 minute time frame. And I lost it here. 1 second. Where was it? On ZM long power bounce. This one here, 8:23. Let's check it out. Okay. 8:23. That was around here. 8:23. Exactly here it happened. That's the one. Bullish trend. You see it here? We're coming down to this key support level, the red line, with liquidity capture. And look what happened afterwards. That's what I'm aiming for today. I'm hoping I'm going to get a few of these. I'm going to trade accordingly because that's really where everything comes together. And in all honesty, these are the setups I trade typically only on my only trade when I doing regular trading. And I'm basically waiting for these alerts to come in, but they're rare, but they will happen. On some days, they happen maybe every, 20, 30 minutes. On other days, maybe twice a day, depending on what the market conditions are. But An brought up a great question here. How do I set up my alerts? Great question. Okay, so you can see it here. These are the alerts which I have to find. Let's start with the ones that come more often. The resistance and support liquidity captures. Remember, these ones don't require trend to come in. Only, in quotes, a liquidity capture event near support or resistance. And I like it like this because, sometimes I want to break my rules. I want to go against the trend. So how do I set up these alerts first? Well, I basically put the indicator liquidity IQ on the chart. I configure it the way I want it to be configured with all my reference timeframes. And then I go to alerts here, and I will pick liquidity IQ as the indicator here for the condition, and just simply pick either support liquidity capture or resistance liquidity capture as my trigger event. And then what's important as my as my trigger here, once per bar. That's very important. Don't use this one once only, because that's not good, because then the alerts won't come in continuously. You get them once for the symbol and then never again. You don't want this. I want my alerts to come in continuously. So I use this one here once per bar. And that's it. And I define this alert for my entire watch list, for my entire 26 symbols, which I'm currently checking for my futures trading. So I use this watch list alert here. So create this alert on all symbols in my watch list, this watch list here, all the future symbols. I define it, and it's there for all of them. But this requires a fairly high TradingView subscription to define these watch list alerts. But it's fantastic. The other alerts, so I'm doing this for the 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minute time frame. The other alert that you saw, these ones here, the short power bounce and long power bounce alerts, these alerts require a different indicator. And this indicator is called 1IQ. Let me just put it on the chart here. I didn't put it here. It's mainly to define these more sophisticated alerts. Let me just put it on real quick. 1 second. Of course, all these indicators are available in our store. So I'm going to put it here on 1IQ. And this indicator is able, and we had a talk about this in our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday, is able to find these composite alerts where multiple things are coming together. This could include MA Rush, our trend indicator. It can include our liquidity IQ indicator of these key levels, and even volume. And you can create a composite alert where everything needs to come together. This is possible with 1IQ here. And I'm not going to give a full tutorial on this, but once you have this indicator, we have a masterclass on this to show you how to set this up precisely. And also in our last Lunch and Learn session, we showed you how to do this. Okay, perfect. So now let's look at another question here. Ans is saying, ZM, you trade short, but it's a bull trend. No, I traded long, actually. I traded long. So ZM here, this was a long trade. This one here went long once price came down here to the support level. This was a bounce off the support level towards higher price levels. It was a long trade. But I guess, Ann, you mentioned if price comes up to this level here, I'm looking for shorts. Is that what I said? Yeah, I would go against the trend. You would be right. Okay. Kevin is asking, so as I switch watch list, all of that's become active on new watch list? No, you have to define those explicitly for a watch list. So you can see it here in all my alerts, which are defined. It says the watch list here. It will not change when you change watch list. You would have to redefine this for a new watch list, Kevin. Yeah. Okay. So now let's trade. Enough talking. Enough talking about configuration. Let's execute some trades. So we spent already half an hour talking. I know I talk a lot. Let's see what we can see. Okay. So 1029 is support liquidity capture at ZM. Okay. On the 5-minute time frame. And I once again caught myself. Sorry, 5 minutes selected here. And opening up ZM, let's see what we see. All right. So, what do we see here? And I think this is going to be a special case, I believe. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, ZM coming down to this support level here with a liquidity capture event. Or zone of control right above there. Yeah, it's interesting, but not perfect, because we are also bearish at the same time. I'm going to wait a bit longer before I start executing these kind of trades, because I still have a feeling maybe you're going to see kind of a better setup which doesn't go against the trend. So, but if this was bullish here, you could just enter around current price levels and put your stop loss right here. That's a fairly good reward to risk ratio, anticipating a bounce off this level. And I would put my target somewhere below here, below the zone of control, because when we approach this zone of control, this big volume node here of volume IQ, it may act as resistance. So I don't want to, want prices to bounce off from there. But we're going to wait a bit. Okay. So what else do we have? MNG, micro natural gas on the 5-minute time frame. Let's check it out. It came in about 2 minutes or 3 minutes ago. Wow. Big move up. Let's check this out. This is interesting. Oh, it was this one down here. I thought for some reason we're going to a former resistance level here. What a spike. Went up there. Wow. I mean, here would be a dream scenario if this price would come up somewhat to this level here. Yeah, because this would be resistance, maybe with a liquidity capture, and we are very bearish here. Actually, I'm going to put a little price alert here just so I might be notified when this happens. So if we come out a bit closer to this level, maybe we're going to, execute a short trade here. As price approaches this resistance level within a bearish trend, maybe that could be an interesting setup to do. Okay. So let's have a quick look at Ethereum. I know we looked at this one before, but let's see if there's anything of interest here. Support liquidity capture. And this is the danger here. If in a strong bearish trend, even though we're getting to support, not everything comes together. Here, price actually broke below the support level. Now we may see much lower price levels here. And nuance could be, let's see, price comes down a little bit further here, below the support level, and then comes back up to it. This is then also shortable, because then this broken support level may act as resistance within a bearish trend. That's shortable. Okay, so let me go back and let's do a quick review of what is actually going on right now in the markets. Let's start with some of the more mainstream symbols. MNQ, micro Nasdaq. Wow, pushing to all-time highs here. To me, these kind of scenarios where price is just trending in one direction, they're tradable, but not blindly. So here clearly we have a bullish trend. Look at this. What a huge bullish move. I would never go short here. But what you could do here's quite interesting. You could wait for price to come down to this former broken resistance level. See, price maybe comes down here. If it does, and look for a long position here once we see a bit of a retracement, and put your stop just below this level here. This big high volume node. It's not the biggest one. The biggest one would be here, but it's still very big. Put your stop here. Give this trade a bit of room, anticipating another push further up here in MNQ. So also put my little alert here. Should price come down further, I may be looking for a long position here. But going blindly in right now at this price level in the ozone layer here, I don't like to be a trend chaser. I wait for a pullback. What about the E-mini futures, micro E-minis here on the micro S&P futures, I should say. Let's have a quick look on the 5-minute time frame. Let's see what's coming up here. All right. And I'm just gonna keep an eye here on my alerts. So look at this little log, the alerts button here. If the notification symbol comes on, this will be a trigger for us to switch symbol to see what this alert is all about.
We have 2 questions here, Daniel. I don't know if you got to them already. One from Anne and Kevin.
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Thanks, Niklas. Okay, yeah, also here, I mean, price came down a little bit now at the zone of control of volume IQ, but I don't see any technical levels here. I'll also stay on the sidelines for a potential long trade, because also here in MES, only a long trade would be a question. Again, I don't like to go against my shorts. Oh, and look at this. We just got an alert. MNG, micro natural gas. So we're pushing close to the resistance level on top on the 5-minute time frame. Let's check it out. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what a huge move up. Yeah. Wow. Right here. All right. You know what, guys? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go short here on this symbol. I'm just going to hurry up a little bit to connect to my Interactive Brokers account. I guess I should have done this a bit earlier. Give me 1 second to log in. Of course, 1 second. There we go. Let's do this quick log in. I have to do a 2-factor authentication on my phone to connect to it. There we go. All right. So it should be redirected now in any second to our trading view. Oh, authorized. 1 second, guys. 1 second, guys. There we go. It's done. And guess what, guys? So I'm getting connected here. Guess what we just saw here? Short power bounce MNG. Exactly what I predicted putting my alert here. Let's execute this quickly. So I'm going to go here, trade. It's already bouncing a bit. I'm going to sell this one here. Sell trade at this level here. Maybe here as I'm going to scale in. It's a very cheap contract. It's going to quickly enter at market here, at least to get my foot in here in this trade. There we go. And now I'm going to scale in a second position a bit higher here. Oh, sorry. This was not triggered yet. 1 second. Actually, I'm going to... Are we in? No, not yet. 1 second, guys. Let's see if we are... No. It's going to trigger this real quick. I have a feeling this is going to come down real fast here. I'm going to scale in a second time. A bit higher here if prices come up one more time here around this price level here with at least twice the position size, maybe even a bit bigger. There we go.
And yes, Anne, Daniel is trading Interactive Brokers on TradingView. You can do that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It works perfectly. I love Interactive Brokers. It's probably one of the best brokers out there in terms of reliability and also commissions. And it works perfectly with TradingView. But also, of course, with other platforms. Interactive Brokers is it's a multi-asset broker, and if you like me, so I'm German, but I trade the US market most of the time. But sometimes I dibble also in the German market, especially with stocks and options. It gives you great exchange rates to on the spot exchange. So I'd say my main account is actually it's in Canadian dollars. You can see it here. Interactive Brokers allows me at the spot rate, not like banks do with huge spreads, at the spot rate to exchange money to other currencies. So if I want to invest into US stocks, I can do this at the spot rate. If I want to invest into European stocks, I can do this at the spot rate. It's perfect for this. So yeah. And if you're in Germany, one of the key brokers out there is CapTrader, for example, which is an introducing broker for Interactive Brokers. I know we have some German clients here as well who might be interested. Okay, perfect. So we're in this trade here. Such a tiny position size, but it's okay. I just wanted to hurry to get into this trade here to anticipate a potential bounce of this level. But let's have a quick look how we structured this. So price came up. I can make this a bit bigger here. Price, actually, let me quickly also delete this alert here. It's going to drive me crazy otherwise. We're already in this trade. That's fine. Price came up to this resistance level with a liquidity capture event. All right. I kind of chased it. I have a feeling it's going to drop really fast afterwards. That's why my entry point here was not ideal. Ideally, it's somewhere close to my second entry here, where I have 2 contracts. Okay. This is my entry, and I'm going to scale it at least one more time as price comes up. Why did I take this trade? Well, it's our short power bounce. You can see it here in the log file. M5, 1IQ, short power bounce. Our three ingredients are coming together. Bearish trend, price flying up. I think there was some news coming up. Pretty sure otherwise this big price move would not happen. Flying up to a resistance level with a liquidity capture event. All right. So let's see what happens. I hope I get my second fill here in just a second. And now let's talk. There we go. And now let's talk about my stop. Where should I put my stop level? Let's make this strategic. So when do I want to get out of this trade? So this is a huge candle up. It might just power through it. And for this, I like to put my stop loss near some strategic level here. So I think here, in this case, maybe above these swing highs. It's a small trade, doesn't really. If like here, this could be like a level where it might be bouncing off from. I'm going to look at the higher time frames in a second on this one, just to see if we do see some strategic level where we may be bouncing off from, but not much higher than this. So because I think if we get over this, maybe there's a complete trend change in place. I want to get out of this, but this is where my stop is. A bit more room because it's a very violent move up here. You may need to take this into account. And but yeah, this would be my stop right there. Let's have a quick look on MNG at the 50-minute time frame. Just real quick. Okay. So MNG, there we go. Huge candle up. I just want to see what are the levels here on this bigger time frame. Okay. So the next resistance level here on the 50 minutes would be the one up here. What I like here is that this level where we are right now coincides with this zone of control. See this big volume node here of volume IQ? So this could act as resistance as well. So I think I'm pretty good with my stop loss here. If we lose, if you go above it, I want to get out of it. I think price is going to go all the way up to this level. I don't want to stay in the short trade until then, but we're going to wait. So I think this is a pretty I'm okay with this trade. I don't like this huge candle. I'm sure something happened here. Some news came out about natural gas. Actually, let me quickly see if there's anything here. What time is it? It's 10:42. Oh, here, this one here. Natural gas stock change refers to, okay, some news came out about natural gas. That's why it jumped up. It's always important to look at these events, even though only impact factor 1. But if you're actually trading this symbol, you should also consider these kind of news events. All right. Perfect. So our first trade is in the books. Not in the books. It's opened. And we'll see what's going to happen here. So let's hope it's going to drop a little bit and we're going to, get out of this trade once price starts to drop off this level. We'll see if this happens. Okay. Moving on. All right. What else do we see here? So I'm happy this short power bounce alert came in just on time. I mentioned to you, these are quite rare, but I trade this over and over again, especially if things are lining up. Okay, so let's check out some other sims. Let's continue our review of the market. What's going on in gold? So we look at the big indices. Let's check out some gold. Yeah, also gold is just pushing higher. It's a bit hard to trade gold here because it's just flying up. A way to trade this, for example, would be to potentially just wait for a pullback. In this case, we broke above resistance here and wait for a pullback and then potentially enter into a long trade. But entering right now below here, maybe not the best. Up here, maybe not the best idea. I would wait for price to potentially drop a little bit towards this level here. This could act as resistance and then potentially look for a long entry here in gold. All right. So have a quick look at my MNG trade just to see what's happening here. Yeah. Okay, so we're right here at the crunch time. Oh boy. We'll see if it's gonna hold up. Sometimes trading these news, it's always a bit dicey. We'll see if this level will hold up. If not, I want to be out of this trade at this price level here because then I think prices are gonna fly up much, much higher afterwards. So we'll keep an eye on this. Okay, silver. Yeah, same here. Just one directional, only in one direction to the upside. Again, also here, I would wait for some sort of pullback to potentially look for a long entry. But also you can see it here. The next technical level is all the way down here. So really far away. And, here's just a little fun fact in quotes, what I really like when it comes to trading, when, a technical level like this former resistance level coincides with the zone of control of volume IQ. We call this having a second line of defense in your trading. Two levels are lining up, basically reinforcing this level should price come down all the way here. Of course, we're miles away, but that's what we call the second line of defense. This is where volume IQ, for example, comes in handy. Okay, so that was silver. Let me look at oil. What's going on with oil? Does oil continue to decline a little bit? Let's see if we can find something interesting here to see. Also, this is the 5-minute time frame. Let's have a look here on oil. All right. Once the indicators load, no, nothing really of interest here. We've lost the support level here within a bearish trend. Been bearish ever since. Now approaching this support level down here. But would I play it to the long side here? Probably not. Why? Because we are near support. There might be a bounce to the upside, but the overarching trend is clearly bearish here on this 5-minute time frame. I would go against the trend. Probably not my cup of tea in that case. Okay, so let's have a look. I like to trade agriculture quite a bit. These are really slow-moving contracts, kind of very soothing in some sense. So let's check out what we see here in, for example, wheat futures on the 5-minute time frame. Let's have a look. All right, what's going on here? Clearly a bearish trend. Approaching support here. Just go back a little bit. Too bad. Here, I would like to wait for price perhaps coming up to this resistance level here and then potentially short it. That'll be interesting. But right now here, going long, probably not. That's would go against the trend once again. Let's check for soybean meals futures. We had this before on the 5-minute time frame. Let's check it out. All right, bearish trend. Let's have a look on when this loads. Yeah, and you can see it here. We're kind of trying to break below this support level. And I mentioned before, should we go up here to this zone of control? Maybe I'm going to go short, but we're not there yet. So I'm going to be waiting also here for prices potentially to come up to this level once again. Maybe I short it then. Or if you see a decisive break, maybe this could also be an opportunity to short it here to the downside. But at this level here, right at this support level, probably not. Okay, corn futures. What do we see here? All right, so corn futures are very bearish. And those, it's very obvious where the trend, in which direction the trend goes here. We're clearly bearish. Let's wait for the indicators to load. Same here. This event here, by the way, actually the two of them, I can see it here. Price coming up to this former support level within a bearish trend. That's tradable to the short side. Why? Because once support is broken, this will act as resistance. And we could look for a short trade here, assuming this level is resistance within a bearish trend. We had the same thing here. We came up to this level here, this red line. You can see it here. Once again, this is shortable, assuming, okay, we are in a bearish trend. We came up to broken support, now acting as resistance, and assuming price may continue to drop. But this happened in the past. Let's wait perhaps for some other setups to come up. ZS, soybeans futures. Also, valuing is bearish today. Let's check it out. Okay. All right. Bearish trend here. Yeah. Also here, we're kind of losing. This is actually not so uninteresting here. So we lost support here. This was a support level here. We went below support, came back up. In the sense of taking a few trades today, maybe once we come back to this level here, maybe I'm going to look for a short. We broke the level here, came back up here. Maybe I'm anticipating here, this bearish trend is going to continue with a bit of a pullback from that bearish trend. Maybe a short could be an idea.
Do you put any stocks on your list for alerts, Daniel?
Oh, I do, but not for this day trading, but I do have, oftentimes I do have it. I even have a list here, S&P 500 stocks, where I look for power bounces, exactly these rare setups on the entire S&P 500. That's pretty cool. But for stocks, day trading stocks it comes with its own challenges, especially since there are many gaps in price, which to me makes it a bit hard to read sometimes what the key levels are. It's so gappy. Just an example, real quick, since we're talking about this. Let's go to the S&P 500 here. Let's look at Apple. You see how gappy it will become. You can see it here. These actually Apple maybe because it trades quite liquid overnight. But let's look something at ABT, Abbott Laboratories. I was trying to prove me wrong here. I don't see that many gaps, but especially if you zoom out a little bit. Just 1 second, guys. If you zoom out on like the 50-minute time frame, you'll see quite a few gaps here. You can see this here. Gap, gap, gap. Gaps by itself present opportunities. We have an indicator called Gap IQ, which looks for these gaps and projects the probabilities of these gaps being filled over time. But yeah, so the gappiness does create some challenges if you want to trade stocks intraday. If you're a swing trader, well, on the daily time frame, then there's no gaps. Ed is saying, does this work for Forex? Yeah, it works great for Forex. I'm not able to trade Forex with my Interactive Brokers account, but it does work. Yeah, let me show you. Let's go to Euro USD maybe. FX. You can see the levels will be displayed in just a second. There we go. So you can see it here. The levels are there. Key levels all here. So it works great for Forex. Yeah. Volume IQ as well. If your Forex broker supports volume, the volume IQ indicator will work as well. So in this case, we are on Oanda. It comes with volume data. And yeah, it works the same way, Ed. Absolutely. Okay, so let me quickly see what's going on here with my natural gas trade. It's hanging in there, not doing much. But you can see that price definitely saw something at this price levels. So even if this trade is not working out, because there's some fundamental news coming in, you could see it stopped exactly at this level, which we projected. Do you see this? That to me something that's like magic. Why did this huge price move up? And natural gas, like at least hesitate here and take a break here. That's something to this level, and this is tradable. You know, a little fun fact about micro or natural gas in general. It's called the Widowmaker uh, in the trading community because it's so erratic. So I personally don't like to trade this symbol too much because it's probably one of the most unpredictable symbols out there. Therefore it's called Widowmaker. But nonetheless, the setups they still at least it stopped here. We'll see what's gonna happen if we see a nice follow through to the downside. I'm still a bit torn. Sometimes with these big candles, this could result into like some kind of flagging pattern here. This could be a bull flag and then another move further up. If that happens, I want to be out at this price level. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. What are the red arrows? Oh, these are just my entries. Once you trade on Interactive Brokers, you place some trades. It shows you the entries. So this was my first entry. My second entry was actually on this candle. So these are always above the candle. Let me just quickly show you how this works. So here, we have one entry here, which was this arrow. See this little other red arrow below? That was my entry price for the first one. And the second entry price is on the other candle here, was this little red arrow below there. You see it? So this is just to show you where the entries were. You can enable or disable these arrows on your charting settings. So if you go to settings here on your chart and go to trading, I guess it's this one here, position or execution marks. It's this one here. And disable this and the arrows are gone. You see? So it's just where I had my executions. Okay. Perfect. So we'll see what happens. As I told you, I'm a bit torn. This looks to me a bit flaggy. And especially after these big events, we'll see. But of course, we took our first trade. I'm happy with this. We'll see if it's going to be holding up this level. It kind of looks to me, and if this was my own like regular trade with a bigger position size, I probably would perhaps close it out here already because this looks a bit flaggy to me. And this flagging formation, bull flags, they look like this. I'll just use my my brush tool here. So a big move up like this, then the flag here like this. Candles are like going back and forth here, and then oftentimes there is like a breakout afterwards to the bullish side. Of course, if this happens, I'm gonna get stopped out. So sometimes when I see this kind of flagging formation, I say, maybe I want to be on the prudent side. But since it's just such a small position size, we're just gonna keep it the way it is. All right. Let me just get back to this one. I'm gonna delete my flag here. I don't want to have these bad drawings here, which would go against my trade. Okay. We did get a liquidity capture alert. There we go. On 6S, Swiss franc. Let's check it out. Okay. So what do we see here? So price once again, yeah, I can see it exactly what's going to happen here. Liquidity capture on this level. It's quite contested. Going against this bullish trend. Let me just go back a little bit. Where are we coming from in general here in the Swiss franc? Yeah, it's just grinding higher. For the sake of placing some trades, you could consider taking a short trade here. But if you do, the way I would play it, oh boy, and this one is probably gonna stop out here my natural gas trade. If I was to play it, I would enter here and just look for a very small move down. Not much more than this. That perhaps is one way to do it. Okay, so here's what I would do if I were to consider a trade here at this level. So we're definitely at this resistance level here with a couple of liquidity capture events. All right, put my stop right above. Oh, sell trade, of course. Put my stop right above $100 risk here, give or take, and my profit target just below here, something here. That will be it. A very small trade, a very small move to be expected. You can think about it. It happened here before. It came down, but don't expect a big move. That I think would not be a good idea. It probably is not going to happen. But, it is. Let me just put it here. Well, why not? Well, here to take some trades. Let's just put the sell trade in here. That will be my approach. If you really want to force a trade off a liquidity capture at this level, knowing we're going against the trend here, this will, now we have lower fill. Let's see what happens. This could be just very short-lived. See if we get to our target here, potentially for just a small, little scalp, as we say in trading. Take something off the markets, a quick price move off a key level. All right. So we'll keep an eye on this too, our second trade. And yeah, oh boy. Yeah, but I definitely want to be out here. This is what my was I afraid of. And that we're going to break above this level, going against the trend. And but let's see. Maybe it's going to be another bounce to the downside here. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. But yeah, very small stop, only just one contract. But of course, this trade is a bit forced. Yeah, we're probably gonna get out of this trade here, unfortunately. It happens the first time we got to this level here, and then we saw the bounce to the downside. Now potentially, we're gonna break above this level. But you know what? As traders, also these breaks, they present opportunities, because then in a confirmed break, you could then reverse your idea here and to the upside, to the bullish side in that particular case. All right, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on this. Swiss franc move was still kind of in the area here from which we expected potentially a small bounce. We'll keep an eye on this. All right, so what else do we have? What's going on with my natural gas trade here? They're both just hanging in there. By a threat, so to say. Yeah, that's my beautiful. I'm going to take my flag post off here too, so real quick, so it's a bit more clean. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this. Two trades. Well, so let me just go back to the Swiss franc. Yeah, here, I think if we don't see the bounce, yeah, I would never, or it's also a good lesson, I would never move my stop higher. And that's psychologically not so easy, because maybe it's gonna bounce a bit later. We've seen this in the past. Maybe it's gonna. Actually, this is one level here. No, this is a good stop loss. I thought I had my stop here. I would put it a bit higher than the swing low. We'll see. Maybe we're gonna see the bounce. If we do, I will close out this trade very quickly. Should it go into the plus, considering we're definitely going against the trend in this particular symbol. All right. So another one came in. Resistance liquidity capture here on ZN. Check it out. What is this one? These are bonds. All right, the 10-year notes. Okay, so let's have a look. What is going on here? Okay, on the 5-minute time frame. Let's take a quick look here. Yeah, this was flagged here as we're coming up to this resistance level here. You can see it here. For a potential short, there's no way I'm going to do this, because right at the resistance, price broke above this one before a few times. To me, this has weakened the level a little bit. I'm not going to short this one here. This is out of the picture for me as a short trade. And in addition, we would go against our trend here. So not the setup I would be considering for an interesting trade here. All right. So, Swiss franc. Yeah, let me just quickly see if we get stopped out here. You can see how price came close to my stop loss level here. We are now above the level. So now technically that's become a breakout trade already. And on Liquidity IQ, actually, what you can do in your settings, if you enable this one here, zone breaks, you will now see a little arrow here probably on this candle showing that, hey, now we are completely above this level here, a zone break. So not the best sign. I'll still keep it open. Keep my stop where it is. Maybe it's going to retrace one more time. Then I'm going to close it. But this is now not the ideal case anymore for a potential short trade here. Okay.
I kind of like micro Bitcoin.
Micro Bitcoin. Okay.
On
Let's
the
check it out.
30-minute and on the 15-minute, I'm using the reference time frame on both, but it's the same scenario pretty much, more so on the 15, but like it lost a support level. A tier 2 is formed above price around 82, and it's not the lowest support level, but if we came back up to that support level, maybe it's a nice one contract short.
Let's check it out. Definitely Bitcoin was quite bearish today, so I'm gonna go to my list here one more time, and let's go MBT, micro Bitcoin. Okay, so yeah, so this is how we just went to bearish trend here on the 50-minute time frame. You thinking shorting it right now, or perhaps when it comes up to this level
when
here?
It comes back up to the.
Yeah.
Let me just check your chart 1 second.
Yeah, I would say that
for some
too,
reason
so.
I don't see your screen. Daniel Sinek's screen. Yeah, that level there, exactly above.
Yeah. So I put an alert here. Should we come up to that level, potentially look for a short. I agree. Bitcoin, of course, has lost a bunch of ground here from 83,000 now down to 80,000. Of course, for Bitcoin, these are kind of normal moves nowadays. And Niels is also on the 4-hour time frame. We see a similar setup. Okay. Yeah. Great. Now it's always good to check multiple time frames, just to get confirmation for your trades. All right. All right, we'll still hang in here. Look at this Swiss franc. It's coming down a little bit. I'm definitely going to be closing out this trade should we see a bit of a bounce below this level here. You know, being aware that, hey, we are going against our trend here. It's against the bullish trend. Let me see what's going on with micro natural gas. Yeah, my flagging pattern. This actually now is panning out exactly what I feared. A huge move up, consolidation, and then potentially another move further up to the upside. So I definitely want to be out of this trade if this level here is breached. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on this. So far, they're hanging in there by a thread, so to say. We'll see if we can find some headway on each of these, finding a bounce, and yeah. Perfect. Okay, what else do we have? Let me go back to some of the mainstream symbols here. So we're gonna stay on the 5-minute time frames. Let's look at did oil already, agricultural futures. Let's look at some other currency futures. 6E, Euro futures. What do we see here? All right. So on the Euro futures, okay. Yeah, price is definitely bullish. Where are we coming from? Bullish since earlier this year. Earlier today. And it's now trading right in the middle. You can see it here between support and resistance. We call this a magnet zone. And the price is just in the middle. Not really tradable from our point of view. I like to trade when we are near levels, but not like in the middle of nowhere in quotes. So I'm gonna, nothing interesting here. Let's look at yen. Have a quick look here. What's going on with our yen futures? A huge move up here, and now a consolidation pattern in yen. Bullish trend. Yeah, but even though we might be coming up to this resistance level here, I probably would not short it because we are bullish. I would go against the trend. Let's look at Canadian futures. Our home base currency here in Montreal. Of course, bearish trend here on the Canadian futures. And let's have a look here. What do the levels say in this case? What happened to my volume indicator? 1 second, guys. Did I take this away? 1 second. What happened to my volume indicator? I must have accidentally deleted it from the chart. There we go. Let's put it back up. I'm just gonna disable volume counts real quick. 1 second. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Oh, let's see. So bearish trend here, coming up to this former support level, now potentially acting as resistance here. Let's see what's happening here. But with this zone of control also right in the vicinity. So even if we come up to this level here and price may see a bounce, I think it might be short-lived because this big contested price area here, the zone of control of our volume IQ indicators right in the vicinity. So I think I'm gonna also here probably stay on the sidelines. All right, so let me see what's going on here with my other two ones. The Swiss futures still hanging in there. I don't have a good feeling about this against the trend. It was briefly for a couple of dollars in the money. It came down, but I think if we come down a little bit further here, one more time, I'm gonna close this one out. Not the setup I normally like to trade, going against the trend with a short. But we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So, what else do we have? Let me go back to our index futures. Nasdaq. Oh, Nasdaq is coming down a little bit. That's interesting. Okay. Coming down here on the 5-minute time frame. Potentially. Here to this former resistance level, which was broken. This could be our zone break retrace setup for a potential long, supported also by this zone of control of volume IQ. Oh, actually, we do have our alerts set up here already. Okay. Yeah, potentially. All right. Okay, what else do we have? Let's go back to gold. Gold's just grinding higher relentlessly. A long time ago, I sold some short puts on Barrick Gold with an expiration date, which is coming up next week, and they're slowly now getting into the price level where this short put is in the positives. I was quite thrilled to see this happen. And my anticipation for gold always was that, hey, they're on the interim, like in the next month or so, a couple of months, the gold price is going to recover to a higher price levels. We actually discussed this one in our live scanning session, yeah, a while back. All right, so it's kind of a quiet trading day, kind of odd. Normally I get more alerts coming in here, but we'll see what happens. So some trading is about being patient, and the nice thing is about this approach is that you can do other things in the meantime. You just patiently wait for your alerts. They pop up on my cell phone or right here on my browser. And when they happen, I simply just switch over to the chart, and then I look at the setup. And if I like it, I execute the trade. And if not, I don't. And then I move on with my day. So it's a nice way of trading if you have something else that you need to get done as well. So you don't have to stare at charts all day long with this kind of approach. All right. So let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Nicholas mentioned that Bitcoin is a bit interesting right now, micro Bitcoin, if prices are coming up a little bit higher. And here we can keep getting the same alert for ZN. ZN to me, not so interesting for a short. Yeah, Bitcoin, we need to get higher up to this level here. These bounces, for example, they will happen over time. Just be patient. Don't chase this trade. Wait patiently for when you get your level and then you enter. That's my advice. And this will happen. Not all the time, but if you look at some of these setups and put your alerts there, eventually they will happen. And being more selective in your trading, I believe that's, at least to me, has been a big change. So and this actually is also possible because I'm trading all these different futures contracts when it comes to day trading. So I will get setups all the time. If you only trade one, only MNQ or only MES or only gold, well, then I guess you have to chase a little bit more. You have to be a bit more adventurous. But if you're open to trading all these different contracts, you will get your alerts much more frequently on these different symbols. All right. So, are there any questions? Let me see. While we're waiting for new setups to come in.
We just had Niels, mentioning Bitcoin on the 4-hour, but no new questions.
Actually, let's switch quickly to the 4 hour. I do have a swing trading layout here. Let me just go to this one here. Swing trading, there we go. Let's open up Bitcoin on these bigger time frames. So I'm going to go to the 4 hour on Bitcoin, not 4 days, 4 hours on MBT. And by the way, the same setup, the same indicators, they also work on spot crypto. We can check this one out too. So this is the futures con. Oh, that's cool. Zombig retrace. Nice. I think this is what you mentioned, Niels. I believe. Look at this one here. It even says in Liquidity IQ now a setup box. We broke above resistance here. Price came up, and now the retracement back to this key level. So from a longer term point of view, this might be an interesting entry point here. Zombig retrace, anticipating, hey, we're gonna hold this key level here, and then I'll see another push higher. Yeah, I'm in a long-term strategic Bitcoin position, kind of a buy and hold position, which I established over the years. So I'm always happy to see Bitcoin push higher for that reason. But that's buy and hold. Of course, that's not really trading. Okay, so let me open up a spot Bitcoin just for the fun of it, just to show you. You don't need to be on the future space. It could be just a regular Bitcoin contract as well. Here on the 4 hour time frame. Let's check it out. So the indicators will load. You can see it here. They're coming in. They're loading. And oops, this one actually timed out. Give me 1 second. Go to this one here. Sometimes they time out. Just have to change, reload the chart. When this happens, so Mirage is there, and let's see if the Liquidity IQ is loading. No, 1 second. Is that because memory limit exceeded? Hang on, we're gonna fix this one. And Nicholas, maybe you can take a quick look at this one afterwards to see if there's a particular reason for this timeout error on Bitcoin. Maybe a calculation was not done properly. Let's just see here. No. Whatever. It normally works on Bitcoin, on the spot Bitcoin, but let's just stay up with the futures pricing.
Probably need to do an optimization because the 4 hour, I mean, Bitcoin is, oh no, it's just futures. Does it work on other futures if we check? It's,
yeah, it
what were
works
we
nicely
on?
on futures. It was on spot Bitcoin.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's because there's so many candles that we'll have to do an optimization because it's open 24/7, not like other symbols.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at this one here. My Swiss trade is slightly in the money. I'm gonna close out this trade here. As prices are coming down, that's the bounce I was hoping for. Let's take this small little win if we can for this trade here. Just because I don't like to go against the trend. I think we broke above this level before here. Not the best circumstance for this. Even though this goes further, I'm just gonna close it out. I didn't have the best feeling about this to begin with, going against the trend. All right, so that's done. Slight tiny winner, but that's what you have to do. If you decide to go against the trend, honestly, you need to you need to manage it very tightly. All right, so let's check out natural gas. The flag of terror. That's exactly the flagging pattern I was talking about. Now we're above this level here. I don't have the best feeling on this one anymore. Sometimes you see a nice bounce in this, and right away it bounces off. But now we're flagging to me. This I'm gonna keep my stop where it is. Maybe we'll see another drop a bit further down. But the nice pattern that we saw before, that's gone now. So with this flagging pattern. And Anne is wondering, my liquidity box and gap fill box are on the same spot. Can they be moved? Yeah, there are settings for this on. Exactly. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so what else do we have? Let me just go back to my settings here. Oh, ZW, support liquidity capture. Let's check this one out. Oh, okay. ZW, corn on the 50-minute time frame. Okay, another one going clearly against the trend. Once again, it is tradable, but if you do, you know what my say is, you want to manage this very tightly. You just get a small bounce out of this. It happened here. It happened here. Small bounces. Eventually, it's gonna break. I'm pretty certain of this. So this bearish trend will prevail. But I think I'm gonna, see, we already have the zone break arrow here. We're still in the vicinity, but I think I'm gonna skip this one. To me, this looks too much downward action here, just grinding lower. This to me seems like it's just gonna be another leg further down. But of course, if we break it, if we see this level being lost, maybe a short trade would be in order here, and assuming, hey, we can trade the breakout move off this level here towards lower price levels. All right. All right. Swiss, just out of curiosity, yeah, we'll close out this trade. It even went down a bit further. But that's exactly the kind of move I was hoping for off this level. Just a little bounce. You can take something of it. Of course, my position size was so small now, it didn't make any impact. But nonetheless, going against the trend, you need to manage it quite tightly. At least this is how I would do it. And here in micro natural gas, yeah, still hanging in there. Buyer threat at this level here. We'll see. Maybe we're going to see another push further down. I would then also close out this trade fairly quickly. Seeing that, price is kind of struggling in this level here and has this flagging pattern. All right. Okay, so let's go back to some of our other symbols here. So MNQ. Oops. Where are we right here? We came down a bit, now pushing up again. Yeah. I personally don't like to chase, but if you were, this is clearly in a strong trending move. There's no question about this. And actually, what you can do, because these are a bit hard to trade because levels are not so nearby. If it's just all directional, there might not be many levels nearby. But one way to do it is potentially use a different indicator called Trend Radar. Let's put this one up. So Trend Radar. And let's see what Trend Radar is telling us here. So Trend Radar, where do we have it? There we go. Okay. So we're putting this onto the chart. And here, there's nothing in here as well. But here I would look for a level 3 or level 4 pullback. So we are clearly in a strong trend. But you know what? Even though we are in these trending moves, and I know these colors don't really match the color theme on the chart, but that's fine. Even though we have these trending moves, every once in a while, we're getting these pullbacks. You can see it here. Level, like 3 levels down, 4 levels down, 4 levels down, here and there. And these, to me, are interesting long opportunities as well within a strong trend, within a strong uptrend. Yeah, you can wait for these pullbacks. But here in this case, no such pullback. But maybe on other symbols. Let's check out MES. No, 1 level only down here. Nothing here. Okay. What about gold? Oh, gold, 1 level down. I would wait for 3 or 4 levels. That would be my entry point if I were to trade. So here 2 levels down now. Okay, getting closer, but I would wait for 1 more level in gold here as well to potentially look for a long. Silver. Oh, 3 levels down. Okay. Okay, silver is 3 levels down. Let's have a quick look here of what we see here on the 5-minute time frame. So 3 levels down, no zone nearby. The next zone here is all the way down here. Let me go to the 1-minute time frame to see if there's potentially any technical level near silver here on the 1-minute time frame. What do we see? I kind of doubt that there will be anything, but maybe there will be something. Let's have a look. So it's loading. Also going to look at volume IQ once this is loaded. Yeah, we're at this higher volume node here, but no technical level nearby. Look at this. Next ones are all the way down here, even on this very small time frame. This is how strong bullish silver has been. Now, if you put on Trend Radar here, also on this chart, just a second, what do we see? Trend Radar. All right, 4 levels down, yeah? It's interesting, SIL. Silver is a very expensive contract. Just to show you, I'm probably not going to take this trade, but because there's no technical level nearby and the contract is just really expensive. So if you go and you were to trade this one on Interactive Brokers, that's fine. Connect. It's crying we should lock in again. Just a second, guys. Come on. Let's go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to lock in one more time here with my 2-factor authentication. Let's have a look. All right. It's coming back 1 second. So if I were to trade this, you could say, okay, maybe I'm going to enter long here at this price level on SIL. This is micro silver, but look at what happens here. So even want to enter here. My stop, maybe just here. Actually, it's not too bad. 197. And maybe I'm going for another push higher up. But you see the dimensions here of just one contract. They are quite quite substantial here in microsilver. And Georgie says, good morning, everyone. Hey, Georgie, how are you? But yeah, I mean, it is tradable. And if you want, in these kinds of situations, other indicators like Trend Radar, they come in handy, potentially finding you these pullbacks. And then if you want to bring it one more step further, you could add something like Divergence Cloud to our list here, just for the fun of it. I'm going to put this indicator on too, which is one of our signal indicators. Divergence Cloud AI, the latest generation of Divergence Cloud. Let's see. Once it's loaded, see if you can see a bull signal somewhere nearby. Okay. So this is what you can do if there are no technical levels nearby. So we had a nice signal here. You see this one here? Beautiful. A long signal. Right now, there's nothing but a short here. Wish there was some follow through. But yeah, potentially wait for such a signal, long signal, and then potentially go for a long trade. But just on a hunch here, just because we're pulling back in a contract like this, which is quite expensive, I would not do it. I would wait perhaps for some kind of signal reinforcing the setup. Just the fact that we have a level 3 pullback in a long-term trend, to me, it would not be enough for me to execute a trade. All right. So where are we here? What's going on with our natural gas? It's still like chilling out in this flagging formation. And look what happened. Remember when I drew the flag? Here, big move up and now just chilling left and right. That's the classic bull flag. And oftentimes these resolve to the upside. So that's a bullish pattern. And the prudent thing would be now just to close out the trade. But I'm being stubborn here. Maybe we're going to see another leg further down. It may happen. The zigzag could go on for quite some time. And we're coming down to my entry point to close this out in the profit. But this is a bullish pattern. So if this was a bigger position size, I perhaps would be a bit more careful and perhaps close out this trade. And Georgie says, interesting presentation. He has to leave. Yes, Georgie, actually, thanks for the reminder for all of you who are joining us perhaps a bit late. This session was recorded, and you can find the recording. Let me just go back here on our YouTube page shortly afterwards. So you can find our YouTube page simply by going to tradingindicators.com. Top right corner on our page, there's a YouTube icon. You click on it. Actually, I can just show you where it is, since we have a bit of time here. So if you go to tradingindicators.com, there we go. All right. So this is our homepage. By the way, very soon I'm gonna have a brand new homepage. No longer based on WordPress. You can see all these WordPress things here. It's gonna be awesome. This is in the works. But I don't want to say too much. That's coming. So here on our current homepage, you see the YouTube icon. This one here, you can click on it, and this will bring you to our YouTube page. And we're gonna post this live trading workshop right here in this section, live trading. You can expect it there. There's also a short link for this, which you can see here. It's tradingindicators.com/YouTube. This will redirect to our YouTube channel. All right. Why not look for a long bounce on NQ if price retreats to a liquidity zone of 28,828? Let's check it out. Okay. Thanks for the question. I'd be happy to have a look at it. Okay, MNQ. Yeah, I guess that was which level? 28,828. Like here. Yeah, that's exactly what we have. You see, this is our alert here. Exactly. This is was our thinking too. Yeah, to this level. Absolutely. But price is not nowhere near there yet. But if we're coming down, that would be our thinking. Absolutely. Good question. All right. Are there any other questions I could address? Some symbol requests. I'd be happy to look at them.
Why not look for a bounce on NQ?
Oh, we just had this.
You just did that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna revisit real quick what's going on here with my Swiss. Look at this. It came back further. Oh, now I'm a bit annoyed, but it's okay. It's okay to be prudent. We saw the bounce coming here. I still would not would have probably mentioned it the same way, somewhat looking for a smaller move because we're going against the trend. But nonetheless, okay. We saw the bounce here. That's it's good recognition, and I guess if this was on a live trading event, who knows how I would have handled this trade. But in live trading, I tend to be much more conservative. You can see it here close at this trade as it was in the money, but also it looked quite bullish at times. You got really close to getting stopped out. So I'm okay with having this closed out. All right. Let's take a look at ZW. Okay, so here, remember, we had also this long bounce situation on the 50-minute time frame. We're still here. Yeah, price came a bit lower, now a bit further up. And I mentioned before, if you want to trade this, put your profit target very nearby, not far away, because we're going against the trend. The trend is bearish. We're looking for a long bounce. These are two conflicting signals. All right. Mike is wondering, hi, last Saturday I asked about Super Signals premium package. Okay, yeah. Let's put this one on. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my silver trade here. So I'm glad I didn't enter into a long trade here. Now it actually gets really interesting. Look where we're getting to here in silver, at least on the 1-minute chart. We're getting to our zone of control. And oftentimes, this zone of control by itself could act as resistance. Oh, that's interesting. Let me actually go quickly look silver here on the 5-minute time frame, just to have a quick peek at it. What's going on here? Now we're pulling back a little bit. All right. Okay, towards the zone of control of our liquidity IQ, of our volume IQ indicator. Yeah, here the zone of control will not be nearby. Oh yeah, I see it's going further down. Actually, I'm gonna quickly double check here. 1 second, guys. Just want to see what's going on here with silver here. Yeah, in this case it didn't hold up. I think we're breaking below the zone of control. And if we do, oh, look at this. Now we got a short signal here. Short silver on divergence cloud. On our indicator here. What you could do, I mean, we're here to trade, right? So what you could do, you could just follow this short signal against the trend, which is not ideal. Stop loss here and look for just a very small gain to the downside. If you want to go in here, buy a limit entry, something like this. Let's see, I was gonna do it. Why not? Looking for a short trade here, but this is how you can use our signal indicators like Divergence Cloud or Super Signals Premium to also trade when there's no liquidity level nearby. But of course, ideally, you want to trade this when it's confirmed by liquidity levels. Oh boy. Yeah. See, that's what happens when you go in on a hunch like me on this 1-minute time frame. And by the way, it says here on this Divergence Cloud indicator, hey, it's position size 0. You can see it here. This is because if my stop would be, where would be my stop here, Nicholas? Let me see, where would be my, oh, it would be all the way up here. Yeah, this would be way above my risk tolerance. But nonetheless, I'm just gonna keep it in here. Take a small little scalp here off Divergence Cloud. I'm happy. I'm out of this. Okay, off the signal here on the 1-minute time frame. Just expecting a small little follow through. So this worked quite nicely. So yeah, and these are our signal indicators. Okay, so we have these to complement our technical analysis, like all the liquidity levels, trend, and volume, and so forth. So our signals indicators can be used for this as well. Okay, I'm going to get to super signals, Mike. Give me just 1 second here. I want to quickly have a look at MNQ because I think we might be getting stopped out here anytime soon. Yeah, look, our flag is resolving to the upside. I think now it's going to happen. And you should probably, and if you're in this trade, you should close it out here. I'm just going to keep it open because I'm stubborn. That's a small contract. But nonetheless, it looks like it's going to be a bullish flagging situation with a resolution to the upside. All right. Oh, I did that, Mike. Perfect. Mike, remind me one more time of your email address. Perhaps send me a private message quickly in Zoom, and I will follow. I'm sorry for this. And Mike, remind me, what was your question regarding Super Signals Premium? I'm happy to put it up right now. Actually, let me stay here with my silver contract, and let's just remove Divergence Cloud and put Super Signals Premium on. All right. So Super Signals Premium is one of our confluence indicators. It's also a signal indicator. It looks for confluence between Divergence Cloud, the indicator
And
you've
I've
just
got,
seen here.
sorry to interrupt, but I've got Mike's email. I'm sending it to you again.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Mike. Sorry for this. My bad. I dropped the ball there. Okay, so Super Signals Premium is a confluence indicator which looks for confluence between our divergence cloud indicator, the one you've just seen here on silver. It looks for confluence between our 1 to 3 strike indicator and our volatility crusher indicator. Then all three indicators line up, you get different degrees of super signals. And the way this looks is as follows. So I'm going to go here to Power Panel Premium. Don't ask why we call this power. It should be called Super Signals Premium. Whatever, that's historically grown. And let's put this on to see what the indicator can come up with here on silver on the 1 minute time frame. So it takes a little while to load. Just be patient with this. And once done, you will see our Power Panel Premium coming up here in the sub panel. It's just loading. Give it some time. There you can see it's loading still here. And once on, we're going to check it out what it shows us. So I'm going to move this up a little bit higher. There we go. And actually, I'm going to take our trend radar here for now. Okay, so what do we see? All right. So first off, in its current version, this power panel, actually, let me just show you what it does. It shows you these huge signals on the chart here. Like gold signals are when lots of confluence happens, some silver signals and bronze signals. The bigger the arrow, the more confluence we had. This is on the 1 minute time frame. And the stronger the signal in theory. But what is also important here, in its current version, the Super Signals Premium indicator is not auto-optimizing. Meaning, well, it's not, I should say, it's not applying the best settings automatically. So you have to do this manually. And you can see here, for example, what these best settings are. And this is only in TradingView. On NinjaTrader and on MT4, MT5, Modified, this works automatically. But for TradingView, that's not the case. So it's 1, 3, 4 are the best settings. So you have to go in to the settings of the indicator and put this 1, 3, and 4. And this changes from symbol to symbol and time frame to time frame. It will also change over time. So we then recalculate, and then let's see what do we see in terms of signals once this is done. Okay, perfect. So first of all, our nice gold signals are gone. Now with the optimal settings here. And I'm just going to quickly go through this chart here just to show you what the signals are. So I have some nice bronze signals here. These are the most frequent ones to the short and long direction. Let me see if we find some other ones. Lots of bronze, 1 gold, which worked out nicely over time. 1 beautiful silver signal here. Gold, now this one probably would have been a loser, but you can see how it works. It's based on confluence when our 3 signal indicators, this is the 1 minute time frame. So maybe a bit hard to trade, but nonetheless, you get the idea here. So you get these signals quite rarely, and you can trade accordingly once you get these signals in our Super Signals Premium indicator for TradingView. And let me just change the time frame here, maybe to 50 minutes on silver. Just have a quick look what the indicator will give us. And the kicker is if you combine this with key levels, then you really get some interesting signals. But you want to combine this one with like what Liquidity IQ says, with what trend says, perhaps with what volume says as well. Yeah, maybe not the best one here, but what you can also do, if you go up here, you can see also, hey, how well has this worked out, historically speaking. Okay, perfect. So this is how our Super Signals Premium indicator works. All right, so I'm going to go back here to the micro natural gas to see what's going on here. So we're coming down a little bit. And now, you should probably take this chance here to close out this trade. It's still flagging. I was going to keep it open out of spite. But nonetheless, yeah, we're coming down here. Okay, so let me see what other signals we've gotten. Resistance liquidity capture on MHG, this micro copper. Let's check it out on the 5 minute time frame. Okay, that was at 11:27 and program this bar here. What has happened here? It's this one here. To me, also not tradable. You can see how often price came above and below this level here. Nope, this is not a short trade for me, especially also since we're going against the trend. Nope. I'm going to skip this one. This is where the manual discretion comes in. So you get all these, these interesting alerts, but then you do some manual discretion whether you want to follow them or not. In this case now. I would not take a short trade here, for sure not against the trend. All right. Are there any questions at this point? Any symbol requests? If not, I'm going to quickly do one more round trip to see what our more regular futures are doing. Okay, MNQ, yeah, pushing higher, nowhere near our end. Oh, we actually came quite close. Look at this. Oh no, look at this. That could have been a nice trade. That's exactly what I had in mind. Prices coming down to this broken resistance level for a zone break retrace entry. Oh, now we pushed already higher. Ah, too bad. Okay, what about MES? Yeah, same thing here. This big push down, now pushing a bit higher as well. Let's go to gold. How did you pull up the stats at the bottom? 1 second for this. Let me just go to gold and see what's going on here. Okay, so gold also pulled back a little bit. Let's take a look here. Also near this level. Not far. See, I love these kind of setups. Break, retrace back to the level, and then you can go along. Like here, I was still too far away, and I'm really conservative with my trading. I like maybe not what I've done today, but with my actual trading, I like to wait patiently for these setups where everything comes together. Like break, retrace to the actual level, not just the proximity of the level. Okay, so yeah, see, that's what happening with gold. Here I would wait. Perhaps another pullback and then potentially look for a long end trade. And Anne is wondering, how did you pull up the stats at the bottom? This came from a different indicator, and first of all, it's our Super Signals Premium indicator. Let me just put this one on this chart here. For example, I'm gonna hide the other ones. And if you go to Super Signals Premium here, if you have that indicator, where do we have it? It's this one here. It will take a while to load. And once done, you see all these different stats here with your signals along the way. So here, beautiful gold signal on micro Bitcoin, the 4-hour time frame, which worked out nicely. And as I mentioned before, this indicator looks for confluence between our individual signal indicators like divergence cloud, 1 to 3 strike, and volatility crusher. And if these are all agreeing on the same move, you get the different degrees of confluence. Bronze is the most common one. Then we have silver. Then we have gold. We have even one level above this, which is platinum. For GC intraday, what settings do you use for volume IQ? Especially how far back should I be looking? Senna, I just use the default settings for volume IQ. So here on micro gold, for my volume IQ indicator, it's just the default settings. I didn't change anything the way it comes. The only thing I've done is I was hiding the volume count. This one here, this is just a styling setting. It's unrelated to the actual calculation, but it's the count numbers here, the values here, how much volume was actually traded at each particular price level. To me, not so important to look at. It clouds a little bit my my view, so to say, like these ones here. I'm just hiding these. Not so important. But sometimes it's interesting to see because, you know, I just see how, if it was any trading at all, especially on some contracts which are more rare, like ZW here, wheat futures, not much traded. And once volume IQ comes up, you can see it. 1 second. That probably there's not much trading going on here on wheat futures. Just for the fun of it, what do we see here? It's actually not too bad. It's a bit bigger. Yeah, it's hard to read, but yeah, still some couple of thousand contracts traded at each price level. Not too bad. I expected it to be a bit less. Okay, and there's here, and you need Super Signals Premium. Yes, I agree, and it's nice to look for these confluences, especially if you are able to use NinjaTrader or ModifWave, because then the best settings are automatically applied automatically. On TradingView, you have to set those manually at the current point. Okay. So, and send me an email afterwards. I'll let you know how you can get the indicator. Okay. Thanks. Perfect. Alrighty. We just got an alert for MNQ. And I can see the prices are coming down a little bit, which makes me slightly happy. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. So we came down here. Honestly, I think I'm going to close out this trade. It recovered a bit to the downside. Now below this level. Maybe it's, well, I don't know. It still looks flaggy to me. I'll keep it up, whatever. I keep it open. Maybe it's gonna come down. We actually see our bounce trade after being stuck at this level here for quite some time on the 5-minute time frame. All right. Can you explain how confluence is involved in the various levels of the super sequence indicator? Senna, send me a note afterwards. We actually have presentation and the masterclass on this, where this is explained in detail what needs to come together for each of the levels. I mean, just a real quick example. For gold, for example, what needs to happen for this big, big gold signal here? This one here. 2 out of our 3 indicators, 1 to 3 strike, divergence cloud, and volatility crusher need to have a sell signal on the very same bar, like at this bar here, and the third indicator doesn't contradict this trade. That is when gold comes in. Then we even have platinum, where all 3 indicators, but that's very rare. It happens maybe once every month or so, where all 3 indicators need to have, in this case, a sell signal for bearish gold on the very same bar. So they all need to say sell, sell, sell on the very same bar. This is when you get a platinum signal. And then we have silver, which look for less degrees of confidence, and then we have bronze, which is even less. So you get them more often. All right, good. Perfect. So we are nearing the end of this live trading session. So I'm going to do one more round trip to see if anything of interest has popped up. Let's go to Bitcoin. What's going on with micro Bitcoin? All right. Let's go here. Micro Bitcoin. Are we coming back up? No, not yet. Prices are continue to fall in Bitcoin. So we're thinking here, if prices come up to our broken support level, this one here, this could be an interesting short, but it didn't materialize. Prices are falling, continue to falter. All right. So that was Bitcoin. What other trades did we have? ZW we had for potential long. And I told you, maybe if you do potential long off this level here, look for very little. It happened to some degree. You can see it here, a small bounce, and now prices are continuing to go further down. So for these kind of trades, you really need to manage it very tightly, very small, modest profit target to just take something off the market, and then you're out of this trade because you're going against the trend. All right. One more look at my Swiss futures short trade. Yeah, it continued to go further down, which is okay, but now you can see prices are continue to go further up again. And I mean, to me at least, it looks like we're gonna revisit this level here. I mean, that's if you think the opposite, hey, we saw a bounce, we're in a clear bullish trend. These levels can often act as magnets before things coming down again. Potentially, you could even think about a long trade here. Quick long trade here off this level with your target just below this resistance level here. And I think this is going to happen over time, probably today, that we're going to go back to this level at some point. So kind of reversing the thinking. Not just the bounce trade, but also, hey, price is coming back towards the level like a magnet, and you can trade accordingly if you have that price move in mind. All right. So, guys, I think with this, I'm gonna see if there are any questions left for symbol request. If not, guys, I think I'm gonna close out this session here. I'm gonna keep an eye on my natural gas trade. It's still flagging left and right. We'll see what's gonna happen here. I still don't have the best feeling about it. It's a clear flagging formation here, which could resolve likely into a bullish breakout. Because if this happens, we're going to get stopped out with our stop level right up there. All right, but we're going to keep an eye on this trade as we proceed. Okay, so I don't see any other questions coming in. In this case, let me quickly go back to my slides. There we go. And a quick reminder that if there was something which was not answered today, you can always write to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to support, then contact, put your question into the contact form, and they go straight to my inbox, and we will answer every question personally, except for the one from, who was it? Mike, sorry for this one there. Actually, you went through a different channel, through our Slack channel. I guess I must have missed it there. I'm going to get back to your question, after the session. With this, guys, I hope you liked it. I definitely liked it. It's been fun. Even the markets were slow today. I have to admit, we did not get many alerts in our trading view, but that's sometimes just how it is. Yeah. Not the most alerts, but you know what? We made some trades. I'm happy with this. Let's see how this natural gas trade will resolve. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And but besides this, it's been fun. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day and hopefully see you at one of our future events. With this, thanks, guys. Bye bye.